What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. We're here today with Sonya Ramirez, and we're going to be giving you the best content that you're going to find on the internet. I promise you. If you stay for 10 minutes, you're going to stay for the entire episode because Sonya's story is just so filled with inspiration, resilience, and everything that we need in order to achieve the best and most successful aspects of our lives in any aspect that we do, whether it's business, whether it's professional, whether it's social, romantic, all of these different areas. Sonya is going to give us the golden nuggets on what it takes to become successful in everything that we do in our lives, as well as dropping us the positivity and great smiles that you can already see right there on the screen. So, Sonya, what do you have to say to the positivity posse before we get started?
Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. This is an amazing opportunity for everyone, including me and Danielle, to be here today and just sharing our stories today. It's just an impactful story that everyone that should understand and most importantly, love yourself and respect yourself in order for you to succeed in life. And that's just part of the journey that I think that everyone has to go through. And it's just the importance of just taking a deep breath and just moving forward in life and try to understand it.
Beautifully said. What did I tell you guys? That's just a small taste of what you can expect for the rest of the episode. And just follow Sonya's advice because right now it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So take that deep breath, like Sonya just said, relax, and let's get comfortable and let's get to it for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Let's get it, everybody. You already know we have to have our time together, me and the positivity posse, you guys, just so we can talk about a few things that's been going on in my life, or maybe there's something that you want to share that's been going on with your wonderful lives as well. Now is the time to do it. But a few things. Number one, this I believe is only the second time ever that I've worn like a button-up shirt and a suit jacket. So Sonya, you got me on a good day today, and I had to match your vibe and your energy as well because I knew you were coming on. And the only other time that I can remember actually wearing this is when we had our panel discussion. It was a 2-hour episode for the Autism Awareness Day where we had 6 or 7 people that are living with autism. And, they came on to talk about their experience and what it takes and kind of dispelling the misconceptions and breaking down the barriers and all that stuff. And that was the only other time. So today I can already tell it's a very special episode, and I know we're going to be on point, and I'm so excited to share this episode with you, Sonya, and with you, my positivity posse. I appreciate you guys so much. And one more quick update as well is that I have finally completed my chapter in the book that you guys, you remember Misty Lee Riston. She came on the show about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago by now. But yeah, I'm going to write my chapter, and it's already actually done in her anthology. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That's going to be My Good Juju, or a book about good juju and what we need to do in order to achieve happiness every single day, and what we need to do to kind of, whether it's strategies or techniques or mindsets, and refining our mindsets in order to achieve that peace, that happiness, and the overall success and what we need in our lives as well. The book is my chapter is definitely interesting. I love it. It's just I would have never thought that I would have written something so soon, because I've had discussions before with people telling me and suggesting to me, yo, you need to write a book, you need to do you need to publish your work, you need to do this. And I'm like, I'll get around to it. But it's just funny. It is funny, and it's interesting how that's come around so quickly. So I'm very excited for that. That should be coming out within October. And then so you guys know I'm writing the chapter in that book, but then my separate book is coming out. I want to say that's coming out in October as well. So that still needs to be just a little bit polished when it comes to presentation. And I'm learning on what it takes to actually publish the book on Amazon KDP, because I have no idea that this was a thing, and that's how authors kind of self-publish now. So learning like the amount of fees that they take out, which was a little bit more than I was anticipating, but that's okay, because it's a part of the learning process. Designing my own cover, just refining and going through the insight. So all of this is to say, not just number one, to share what's going on in my life with you guys. And I hope you're doing it right now in the comments as well, because I see you guys are lighting it up right now in the comments. But also number two is to just go out and do it, and don't worry about what can go wrong, or stop worrying about what's going to happen if you actually do or don't do that thing. You just need to get started, and that is the most important piece. I'm going to say that's the second most important piece, is actually getting started. But the first biggest thing that you need to do is you need to be aware of the things that you're doing or that we're doing that might not be elevating us or guiding us to our greatest and highest path, right? Because if you're not aware of these things that are tripping you up, if you're not aware of your triggers, if you're not aware that you are not living your life to your fullest potential, then how is it that you're supposed to get started, right? So just make sure that we are making that active change to do everything in our power to actually live out our lives and our passions. So like I said, be aware of it, find what triggers you and what trips you up. I know for me, scrolling on social media was a big thing that was tripping me up, a few months ago, because I was just going on there, but I was aware of it, and damn, like I'm not supposed to be doing this right now. I could be writing my book, or I can be scheduling more guests for today, or all different kinds of things. But be aware of it, stop it, and actually take that first step to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's so amazing that I'm able to share that with you guys as well. So please let me know if there is a challenge or a setback or something that you've overcome in your life as well, because we'd love to hear about it here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And I want you guys to participate in the good vibes, because you already know this isn't a passive experience. You just don't sit there and watch us talk. You can ask questions, you can participate in the good vibes, drop some hearts, do whatever it is that you need to do to really get and really feel a part of this positivity posse and this family that we have built. We're over 90,000 viewers every single month. It's just been absolutely amazing. And I can guarantee you, I'm guaranteeing it, and I never really guarantee anything, but I'm guaranteeing this, that we will reach over 100,000 viewers by October. You can put your pocketbook on it. If you're a betting person, make sure you call up DraftKings or the sports book and put your money down, because you're going to get a good return on it, because I already know I'm that confident in it. So now, let's talk about a few of these comments. We have social media anxiety. I hope, Mari, that you're doing everything that you can to overcome that. And I know it's so easy to kind of just, look at our phone and get distracted by it. There's a term for social media anxiety. It's actually called doom scrolling, where you're just constantly going and scrolling, and you're kind of doomed to it because, you're not you, but we're scared to kind of face what's going on in our lives. So yeah, social media anxiety is a big piece as well. And if there's content that you want to post out there that you haven't been doing, make sure that you just ignore all the negativity and just share your voice with the world, because you never know who you are inspiring when you share your story and your voice. Just as Sonya is going to do today. He's writing down the facts, or that's the publishing portion. Let's go. Sonya, you look amazing. Yes, she does. And I'm so excited to bring her on. So that's enough for me, because we have to dive deep into Sonya's story. We have a lot to cover. Her story is really full of overcoming obstacles or setbacks or barriers, whatever it is that you want to label it. She's overcome those and is now giving back to different parts of the world as well, here in the city of Camden and in many other places as well, in every area that she touches, or maybe doesn't touch physically, right, through social media and all that great stuff. But now it's time to bring on Sonya to the show. So do whatever you got to do to welcome her on. Make sure you drop the hashtag, the hearts, the fire emojis, just to welcome Sonya. Do whatever you got to do to welcome Sonya onto the show, because it's time to bring her on and to share her story and her good vibes. Let's get it.
Hi.
What an honor and a pleasure, Sonya. Thank you for coming on today. We have they're lighting it up for you, like we said. We got the speakers, we got the hand claps, we got the fire emojis, all for you, and we are so excited to have you here today, Sonya. Just take it away. I don't know what you're feeling inspired to say right now or to talk with our positivity posse, but how do you want to start this off?
Listen, I'm super excited to be here. I'm really grateful to tell my story. I think I have a very unique story. When I was young, unfortunately, I didn't have great parents growing up, and we were very poor. I had a lot of challenges when I was growing up, and that impacted me in a big way. And I think that a lot of children in this world, we all go through things like that, right? There's a lot of people that don't have the privilege to be in a healthy home and a healthy environment, and have, you open your fridge and you can see something to eat or something to drink. I think that a lot of people go through a lot of these things, but they don't tell you, right? And I think the important thing is to overcome those obstacles. And yes, I understand that as a kid you don't have the ability to do that, right? Because we are basically, we're helpless, right? We are here to, they're, our parents are the ones that are they're supposed to help us and cherish us and take care of us, but some of us don't, we don't have that. And unfortunately I was one of those kids. And as much as I would love to have a parent that would love me and care for me, I just didn't have that. And growing up, it was just very difficult for me, and I didn't really understand a lot of things that were happening in my life. And it's very difficult to think about. But I always tell people that I talk to, you have to see your past, and just understand it. Go back to your past to understand what's going on and what happened, but never put yourself in there. Don't dig yourself in there, and just forget about the actual world that's out there, right? When we have a beautiful world out here, you need to realize that it's just free to see the beautiful, the flowers that out there. But we tend to just be in a dark place. We tend to forget that people are gonna be mean and people are gonna be bad to you, and unfortunately there's nothing that you can control. The only thing that you can control is your own outcome, right? So how do you do that? How is those things that are so in, like, so deeply in touch with yourself, with your inner self, with your heart? How do you forgive people like that? How do you move on? It's a lot in this world, right? We have to all go through. And
Yeah,
mhm.
we're going to dive deeper into that too, because these are the things that, like you said, everybody does experience, but we kind of don't have maybe we don't have the teachers or the guidance in order to overcome that. So I'm so happy that you said that as well, because we will dive further deeper into that too. One more thing that you said, you said kind of unfortunately that you grew up in the circumstances that you did, but I want to challenge that to say I think it's fortunate that we all experience these challenges, right? Because it's what's made us who we are today.
Correct.
And that's why we go through these things, so we can pass on to the others all of the things that we've learned and the lessons. Now whether they take it or not, it's totally up to them, because sometimes we need to experience certain experiences in order to gain those lessons as well. So
Absolutely.
let's start off right here, because we have a lot to cover, and you just said it too. When you have experienced all of these things that may have seemed not favorable in your life, uh, where did you develop the mindset? Maybe it was a mentor, maybe you just kind of had that drive and that grit within yourself, but where did you develop that idea that, because you said it before, that nobody's going to come in my life and change things for me, I have to be the one to change it. So where did you develop that from? Was it from a family? Was it friend? Or were you just
it
born?
it was just for myself. I developed it myself, and it wasn't, I didn't have anybody around me to teach me. I got married, I was 14, 15 years old, and I had my first child when I was 16. So I lived a very grown up life in a very quick, right? I didn't have it, I just had to learn. You develop, I'm sorry, you develop those essence of how to understand how things work. And in order for you to change your outcome, you have to have a different mindset. And if no one is around to help you and no one is around to save you, those are the you have to rely on yourself. You can't rely on anybody else. So I could have changed in a different outcome. I could have ended up totally different from what I am today. But I promised myself that I was never going to be like my parents, or I would never have my children live the life that I lived. And that was just my own mindset, and God was with me my whole entire life. I think that He's always been opening doors for me and opening paths with me, and helping me be stronger as a person, as a human being, as a mother, as a friend, as someone that wants to push others. If I can do it, you can do it. Don't let anything stop you, no matter what is happening in your life. You have to keep pushing and always saying yes. I know that I see a lot of people say, oh, you can't say yes to everything. Yes, depending on where you want to go in life is crucial to keep positive, and it's crucial to continue loving yourself and respecting yourself. I say that a lot, because if you don't, you're not going to go nowhere in this life.
100%. I agree with you so much that it is up to us, that we are the creators of our reality. And whether we realize it, well, now we all realize it, right? Because I just said it and I'm letting you know. So we can't go back and go in a different route. But it really is up to us. And I believe the power is within our minds to
Mm-hmm.
really look at, certain situations. If you're going to look at it in a positive light, you're going to receive positive out of it. Negative in, negative out. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
like a little, simple formula for anybody that might be going through whatever it is in their life. That we have a positive outlook and a positive attitude on everything. And I just want to share a quick picture because we talk about it here all the time. And my positivity posse knows this picture, but you probably know this as well, Sonya. When we look at experiences or challenges or situations in a positive light, we vibrate up here, as you can see, at that place of love, of joy, and peace, and great things will start to happen as a result of that. But when you look at, when you see it from a place of fear, apathy, guilt, shame, we're at a low vibrational state, and we will just continue to receive more of that as well. So Sonya, I want you to talk about what was one of your biggest challenges growing up. And I know for you it was about the marriage portion, and you're going to really dive deep into that. But at what point did you use that challenge that you're about to tell us about, and when did you turn it into positive fuel?
Wow, I had two big challenges. I think that my first one was definitely when I was a kid with my mom. I think that God was with me the whole time, because like I said, when I was like 10 years old, I definitely tried to take my life away, and I don't say that a lot. I think that the reason why, I just didn't understand what was going on, what was happening, and I did have I would say, like, an angel around me that saved me that day. And from there, I think that, I turned my life around, and I told myself, no, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to allow anybody around me to treat me the way they're treating me, and I need to get out. So that's when I ended up getting married in a very young age. I saw that as an out, right? I did find love. Don't get me wrong. I had, it was a very nice marriage for a certain amount of time, but during that time, I think that I lost myself as well. I was still very young. I was a teenager, and I had a young little girl when I was a young girl. I didn't finish school. And those are a lot of challenges, because you go straight into adulthood. You don't get to enjoy life. You just go straight into being a mom, working hard, taking care of house, taking care of husband, and you don't have time to know who you are. I never got that time. I never understood who was Sonja, who, where she wants to do, where she wants to be, what does she want to do. I never got that chance until I decided to get the divorce, because I wasn't happy anymore. It was a lot of things that were happening, and I just thought that in my mental stage and for my kids, I needed to get away. And I didn't at that time. I didn't know how to drive a car. I didn't finish. I think I finished ninth grade, and unfortunately, in that time, I didn't had the support that I needed in order for me to become the woman that I am today. And once I got divorced, I was like, you know what? This is not going to happen. I'm never going to have anybody to, I don't want anybody, I don't want myself to be independent on somebody else. I needed to find my independence and find my voice and find who I really wanted to be. And that's when I started learning how to drive. I got my GED, and I moved out of the States, and then I came to New Jersey. I ended up I think it was 2014, I ended up here. And since then, it's just been a new version of myself, positivity of myself and every single version of, for my kids, for those people that know me. They know how hard I worked to get to where I am. And most importantly, the challenge that I had is definitely, you know, getting that divorce and just moving to the States, to a whole new country, not having anything, not knowing anyone. And I think it's a lot of people get scared of those unknowns, the unknowns.
For sure, for sure. And we talk about that here. A lot of people being scared of the unknown because they don't know the result. Well, let me challenge somebody that may be in that state of mind or going through that with this, you know, this perspective. Is that if you are repeatedly doing an action or you're doing something that you don't prefer and you know it's not elevating you and it's not giving you closer to the life that you want to live, you already know the outcome and you already know the result, right? And I'm going to use kind of a serious example, and you know, just bear with me for here. But a lot of people look at you know, pornography, right? And they know that once they get done looking at whatever it is that they want to look on there, afterwards they have these feelings of shame, of guilt, of not feeling their best self, right? And that's because once they take the action, they know what the result is going to be. But let me challenge you to this, and it can be beyond that as well. It can be many different facets. With that unknown, I can guarantee you that you're going to have those feelings of self-worth. You're going to have that feeling of achievement, and you're going to have that feelings of happiness and confidence because number one, you took the risk of going into the unknown and not knowing what's going to happen. But when we know that we go into the unknown, once we say and we know and we believe that good things are going to come from that unknown, then life just kind of has to reflect that no matter what. And then number two is that you know what the result is going to be from the things that you're doing. So why not take that risk and that chance to do something different and to see what beautiful and wonderful and magical things happen from it? And I know this may sound like it's all happy-go-lucky or you're just saying that because it sounds good. No, it's the truth. Try it. Eliminate that thing that you know is not serving you to your greatest and highest good. Make that choice and take that chance and take that step to do the thing that you want to do and to learn more about. And I promise you, it will be so much more rewarding and satisfying than doing the thing that you already know what the outcome is going to be. So Sonya, we have to hear a word from our first sponsor for today, and then we will be right back. But I want to talk about the strategies and the techniques that you took in order to find your identity, to find your self-worth, because you just mentioned that it was a challenge, but you know, maybe somebody watching right now is having trouble finding their self-worth. So when we come back from our commercial, we're going to dive deeper into that, into my positivity posse. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you have to do to keep the conversations going. And you never know who you might help by sharing this wonderful content. You might be helping yourself or that person that may not be so vocal about the help that they do need. So we'll be right back after a word from Great Success, and we will continue with this awesome, amazing content. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in a minute.
At Grade Success, it's our job to make sure that your child succeeds in school regardless of the subject or grade level. Our tutors are trained professionals who know how to promote learning and encourage results. Whether you are looking for help with SAT, ACT prep, private and group tutoring, K through 3 reading programs for your child, or educational consulting and college counseling, here at Grade Success, we can help you find the right answer. Visit gradesuccess.com to learn more about our in-person and online program options. Grade Success, where your child's success is our business.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a word from our first sponsor. Thank you to Great Success for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And now, as we all know, everybody is back in school, or all the kids are back in school. So if you have any, children or anybody that you know that needs some additional tutoring or just overall help with their school, SAT prep, all of that great stuff, Great Success is the place to go to. I know the gentleman personally, and I've seen him present before. He's amazing, and he's had the company for over, I think, 25 years now. So go reach out to them if you need that. But now we got to come back to this great content here with Sonya. And Sonya, you already know what we're going to be talking about. But if you're just tuning in from after the commercial, we're going to dive deep into what it takes to really find our identity and what we need to do to live out our best lives. So Sonya, what were some of the things? I mean, you kind of just said it. You didn't know how to drive. You had two children at a young age. You were going through a divorce that wasn't, serving you to your greatest and highest good. So what did you do in order to find your identity, number one? And then what is your identity now that you've discovered within yourself?
Wow, that's a lot. I love it. My how I found my identity, honestly, it was definitely during that process of the divorce. I knew I had to. I just ended up being a single parent now, so I have to depend. My kids depend on me. And like I told you before, I didn't want my children to live the life that I lived, so I had to grind. I had to start working. When I came to the States, I lived with my brother for about a year. But during that year, I had a transfer from Walgreens to Puerto Rico to Walgreens in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And I was privileged enough to have Walgreens pay for my school for pharmacy technician. When I started there, I was just there for about a year. I would say a year and some change, couple months. And they gave me the opportunity, and I took it, and it went really well. I mean, it was going really well for me in Walgreens. They loved my ideas, and I remember one of the big regionals came to our store, and they're like taking pictures of all the new things that I did, because I had a lot of stuff, a lot of ideas from Puerto Rico, which is huge. Walgreens over there is totally different from here. But they loved it, and I just started getting a lot of just attraction of, oh my God, who is Sonya? What is she doing? She's doing something different. So I'm always engaged in everything that I do. I give my 100% on everything that I do. I'm very approachable. I love, helping customers. So that literally helped me in my career, especially when I ended up in Citizens. After I did the pharmacy technician, I got a friend of my brother's who asked me, hey, Sonya, what do you think about banking? And I'm like, I don't know anything about banking. I don't think that's going to be something that I could do. I'm sorry. It's customer service. I'm used to that. I have experience in that for 12 years, but I had nothing. I had no experience in banking, but I gave it a shot. They loved me. And my career started in Citizens when I think it was in 2015.
Wow.
And I started as a senior universal banker, which is a teller and a banker. So I started from the bottom. When I tell you I started from the bottom, that I think that was like my first year. I had to drive 2 hours from where I lived to work. I did that for a whole year, but I wanted to show them that I was dedicated, and that they gain a good employee. I'm always saying yes to my peers. I'm always willing to help. I'm always willing to learn. Even if it's not my avenue, I like to learn different areas, because that I can put in my resume. So keep that in mind, people that are watching. It's crucial. You can't always say no, and just stay in that, that focus of, what is that called? When you're just only focused on one thing.
You got the blinders up.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you have to try to do different things. And I think that's when I learned who I was and where I wanted to be. And I saw the potential that Citizens can give me, and the freedom, right? Because remember, I'm a single parent. My kids have to rely on me. It's in the States. It's very expensive. How do I overcome all these, obstacles? And I remember one time my brother, he's like, what are you doing, Sonya? Your kids don't see you hardly. And I had 2 jobs. I was going to school. I was doing a lot in a short amount of time. And I think that at the end of the day, overall, it turned out really well for me personally, right? But that's where I found my voice. And I think that my children are my voice. My children are the one that give me the courage and the wanting to continue to not fail and always succeeding in what I do. And keeping it positive and helping others, and being a role model to my children, to my daughter who's 23. They see me day in, day out of what I'm doing and how I'm doing things. And I want them to see, wow, that's my mom. That is my mom. And she's very, she knows where she wants to be and how she's helping others. It's most importantly, just have a good heart. Forgive. That's also another thing. You can always forgive what people do to you, but don't ever forget. And anybody that gives you negativity around you, stay away from those people, but learn from them as well.
100%. I hope you guys wrote all of that down, because she just gave you so much
A lot.
information. Yeah, no, but this is the things that we all do, and that we need. And just to do a quick recap, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Number one, we kind of have to living in our own bubble to say, all right, well, this is going on in my life. I can't do this. I can't do that. instead, you never know the networking that you might experience if you were to say yes to some things. And I know, if you are in that position that you think that, financially tight and you don't have the time to do it, there's other ways that you can give back. It doesn't necessarily have to, it doesn't have to always be monetary. And Sonya, you already know that too, but everybody else is watching. I want you to understand that. It doesn't always have to be monetary. You can give back with your time. You can give back with your information, or even if you're just connecting two people together. That, Sonya, you just mentioned earlier, God sees that, and everybody, if maybe you don't believe in God, but you believe in a higher force, they see that as well. Ultimately, we all know what we give out is what we, receive back. And that's what the law of attraction, what are we attracting into our lives, right? If we are in a state of, oh, I can't do this, I'm negative here, get out my face, all these things, that we're just going to attract more of that. So number one, be open. And like Sonya said too, just do things with a pure heart. I know a lot of people think of other people as money, as dollar signs. What can I get out of this person? But as we all know, when we do things from just the kindness of our heart, it'll come back to you tenfold. Try it and trust it, and it will turn out that way as well. And Sonya, I know that you mentioned now that you are at Citizens Bank in you're a branch manager at the Camden branch. And I know you guys are doing a lot of great work as well. And I want everybody to hear about what you're doing kind of right now to help, the local citizens in Camden, everybody that's in the surrounding area. So you have actually went, like you said, from the bottom to the top. So what is it that inspires you to kind of give back in the position that you are now to the city and to the local residents?
Just helping the public. I think that we live in a very challenging world. I think that this world can be very evil, and it could be very challenging for the people, and they don't understand that we do have resources that you can find, that if you ask questions, your local schools, your mayor, like I've been working so hard ever since I've been in Citizens in Camden, since I think since February. We opened our branch in February, but way before that I've been with HelpWorks is one of my favorite organizations that help young adults. The mayor of Camden, Victor, he's done such an amazing job. I've been in most of all his events with the cleanups. It's just inspiring to see, and the love and affection that the actual community has for one another is inspiring. It's beautiful to see. And I think that if everyone has the same mindset, we can change this world around, or we can make it a better place. And that's my inspiration. I want everyone to fall in love with each other and just respect one another and help one another. Forget about the people that are being so evil and so mean to each other, people that need help. Those are the people that actually have mental issues because they don't know how to overcome what's going on in their lives, and they just feel stuck, and they get angry, and they take it out of other people. Let's spread the word, smile. You never know what somebody can go in what mentally they're going through, and by just giving a smile, there giving a backpack to a kid that might not have it, just those little things in the community make such a big difference. And it's just spreading the love. I think that that's the most important thing for me.
Of course. And a lot of people think that negativity is more contagious, and you got the shock value that goes with that, and that's kind of why the news outlets or the social media sites and all this stuff, that's what they push. But I agree with you, Sonya. The love is what's way more impactful, and that we need to rise above the negativity that's what's going on, whether it's in our communities or what you see on the news, or maybe your family member might be that way. But we have to lead by example, and that's what we do here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV, but you at Citizens Bank as well. And that's why we love to partner and come together with one another, because we are leading that change, and we are inspiring the next generation to take on those good values, those good traits, and those good habits, that to understand that if you can affect one person, you can affect 10. If you can affect 10, then you can affect 100 to 1,000, so on and so forth, until everybody does start to feel that love and that compassion that we have for one another. So we have to hear a word from our second and our third sponsor for today. But Sonya, when we come back, I want to talk about some of the programs that the citizens or the residents might not know that you have to offer, that would be a great way to let them know about maybe some financial literacy courses, or just ways that you are giving back in the world as well. So everybody, don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you have to do to raise your vibrations, because we're going to hear a word from the Power of Choices, which is our second and you already know that to me as well. So when you see my beautiful face on there, don't get too tired of it. But we also have It Takes a Village Housing, which they are having a diaper drive in October. I believe it's October 12th.
I'll be
And
there.
we're just gonna hear. All right, there we go. There it is. Supporting the city and supporting the nonprofits. Thank you so much for that. So here is a word from our second and third sponsor, The Power of Choices and It Takes a Village Housing. We'll be right back.
What we do is very interactive, but very, very powerful because, look, yeah, I was an educator for 30 years. I don't believe in just academic education. The lack of character education, which is what we do, changes a culture, and it doesn't take 3 months or 3 years to do it.
We are the guys that come in that will teach these kids everything that they need in order to really be the best version of themselves and to get the skills to succeed in life, no matter what life throws at them.
Takes a village about keeping our families together.
God bless this organization.
So everybody, The Power of Choices and It Takes a Village Housing in Camden, thank you so much for sponsoring Weekly Dose of TV and believing in the next generation and everything that we all do. Well, as you just saw with those two organizations specifically, are giving back to the next generation to help inspire them, because now, unfortunately and fortunately, now is the best time ever to do it. Unfortunately, because as things are going on and the social media is coming out and the next generation, they may not be as impactful or may not feel the support or encouragement that they should. So that's the unfortunate. But fortunate, that's why we come in here to help the next generation and help them with that self-confidence, with substance prevention, with anti-bullying, all of those great things as well. And it takes a village with the housing side of everything as well. So thank you to both of you as well. And Sonya, it is time to come back to talk about, the programs that you are offering at Citizens. But actually, I want to throw one more thing in there before we talk about those programs. And Sonya, I know before you sent me, a few pictures, kind of like what it's like, what you look like and what your energy was like, back in the day. So I want you to look at this picture and I want you to just talk to this person and what do you have to say to this person? Or maybe there might be somebody out there that may resemble this figure or this kind of energy of what you had before. So talk to this person, and what advice or what pieces of encouragement would you have to give to this person right here?
Wow. Well, that person right there, she was going through a lot in her life in that moment. And I can tell her, don't give up, continue fighting. Continue loving yourself and respecting and understanding who you are as a person, as a mother, as a friend. Never give up, and you will see the difference of what's going to happen in the future. You will do great things.
Wow. So everybody, it doesn't, I know Sonya speaking specifically because, I just asked her to that picture, but all the things that she just said can be applied to your life as well. Don't think that just because, you're not a female or you're not Spanish or you didn't grow up on the island of Puerto Rico or whatever it is, you are not separate from the love and the worthiness and the abundance of love and peace and happiness. You are worthy of all of those things. Ignore anything else that says otherwise, because all of that is not the truth, right? We all know the truth is rooted in love and peace and inspiration and vibrating at the highest stuff. So if we know, if it doesn't make you feel that way, if it's not coming from that place of love and happiness, then it's false. So stop believing in the false belief systems. But Sonya, like I said, we got to talk about all the great works that you're doing at Citizens Bank. So, can you give us like the top two programs that maybe you're really excited to share about that the citizens or the residents don't know that Citizens has to offer?
Well, I think that one of the things I have to say about Citizens, and the reason why I'm, part of this amazing company, is because Citizens is building relationships. If Citizens wants, this bank specifically wants our customers to come in and feel like they are at home. Like you're sitting down and you're talking to a family member of one of your issues and problems, and you feel comfortable and you know that you're going to be taken care of because we love you. We want to be part of your life. And Citizens, it just has so many amazing things. Like right now in the community of Camden, we have our CRA department, who's helping and giving funds to good organizations that are really doing the difference and making the difference, helping those companies, those organizations to have more money to give back, which is very important for this community, right? Students, I think that's crucial for them to understand that we have financial literacy. Any questions, concerns that they may have about anything, about budgeting, about how to build your credit, things like that, like come and visit us. We are here to help you and assist you in any concerns, questions you may have. Maybe getting a new home, how do you get your first mortgage? How do you get a student loan? How do you refinance it to lower your debt? Those are so many other things that we have. We have financial advisors. Once you're a client of ours, you have access to a financial advisor. You do not have to pay for those services. Citizens provides it for free. There's not a lot of banks that gives those services, and it's crucial that we are here to build that relationship and that trust. So come visit us.
So there it is, everybody. Especially, if you are in the Camden area or surrounding areas, come in and see Sonya so she can help you with any financial issue that you may have, or most of them. I can't say any, right? Because I can't speak for you. But Sonya, we all know that the state of the world, some people may view it as not so favorable, and everything is so expensive. So, and you are working with the bank, and you do know and you teach about financial literacy. Can you give us like maybe your top 2 or 3 pieces of advice in order to maybe feel, or maybe to stretch the money that people are receiving nowadays? Because it's easy. Like, you see a lot of people saying it. Everything.
They just swipe, and
yeah. All right, so go ahead, take it away.
Understand your budgeting. Understand how much are you making monthly. Sit down, and you have to sit down. You have to figure out what are your expenses. If you don't understand what your expenses, you're always going to be short because you're just swiping away. And you have to take your responsibility, those responsibilities first. What is the main focus you got to focus on? You need a home to stay in, right? You want to have a cozy bed to sleep on. So what is the first thing you need to do? Pay your rent, right? So that's your first main thing. What is the second main thing? You need a transportation. How do you get by, right? If it's by car, if it's by train, if it's by just, Uber, whatever it may be, find those, extra. What are you spending? How are you spending your money? When you're buying coffee, when you go to Starbucks every day, think about how much money $12 a day is going to get you a month. Calculate that. I bet you'll be surprised. I think those are the crucial things that you got to think about to manage your debt. Find a way to understand it.
I want to look at it too, because $12 a day at 30 days is $360, and that could be used towards something else. You're so right.
Exactly. And how do you change that? How do you change that outcome? If you are at work, they have coffee makers there. Prepare your coffee at work. If you have, like right now, we have a 7-Eleven right next to our job. Get some bread, get some ham, make yourself a sandwich. You know, avoid buying outside. Everything is so expensive nowadays, and everyone I think is struggling right now, right? When it comes to paying rent, when getting groceries, even getting gas. So how to manage your budget? You know, understand it and just calculate and subtract. You know, we have to pay for everything: car insurance, we gotta do car payment, we gotta do gas, everything. So it's crucial to understand how you're doing your expenses. Take them out. How much are you making and how much are you subtracting? And what you can keep so you can play with it or save it, do whatever you want to do. You know, I think that everyone works really hard and we are entitled to actually grab a dinner somewhere with our kids or with a friend or go out somewhere. So it's not always just working, but understand how your budget works so you can live life.
I love that too. And I know for me, I actually just recently bought a coffee machine that makes cold or iced coffee because I was spending money. I guess you were just talking to me right there. 'Cause I would always go to Dunkin' and I'm like, damn, you know, $7 for a cup of coffee definitely does add up per time. And then, you know, it doesn't include if you get something to eat or a donut, you know, all that good stuff. But, you know, that was my kind of pitfall as well. And I just want to say quick, what's up to Shane? Thank you so much for commenting. It's so lovely to see you. I hope everything is going well with your kid as well, because he recently had a child. I know, Sonya, you were just talking about that. So big shout out to Shane. And also, all right, so this is actually a personal question for you, Sonya, as they all have been, right? Because it's been your story. Well, what has been one of the biggest things that you had to cut out that you know, like, damn, I got to stop spending money on this so much, but it's hard to do.
Well, one of the things there's two things that I got to cut out that I have not done yet, but I do have to do. It is, I live a very busy life, and when I get home, I just really don't want to cook. Or if I do want to cook and I don't want to go out to go get groceries, I order them and they have them come deliver it to my house. That is very expensive, and I have to cut that. That's number one priority. And the other one is definitely getting Starbucks every day. So those are my two main focuses that I need to start doing.
I know it's so hard.
Especially when I just moved into a new apartment, you know, and it's very expensive. So I have to manage my money. I think we all have that issue, you know?
For sure, and especially when it comes to things that we just kind of love to do, right? For I guess us, it's coffee, but you know, it's the caffeine that goes behind it. Some people like to spend it on, you know, the dispensaries that are out in New Jersey, or another thing might be you know, junk food or sweet. So it's nice to have it all in moderation, but just as long as we have certain things under control, that is really the most important part of it as well. So Sonya, we are coming up. We only have a few minutes left on the show, which is like less than 10 minutes at this point right now. But, you know, out of all the things that you have learned in your life and all of the challenges and all of the, you know, things that may have not been favorable to you, I know the next generation, we love to teach them about our mistakes, or maybe your kids as well. Obviously, they learn from you, you know, every single day. So, what is it that if there's somebody that's growing up in a town that may be underprivileged or under resourced, such as Camden, or maybe some parts of Puerto Rico or everywhere else that's going on inside of America, give us like your 1 to 2 pieces of your advice in order to understand that these challenges, when you look at them from a positive perspective, are building you and helping you to become that strong, resilient person that you're growing up to be.
Never give up on yourself. Number one, you know, I think that that's very important in life. You can't give up. You can't. You have to continue. Even though you think that you're drowning and you're like right there, the water's just like right above your nose, continue breathing, continue to just move forward. Don't look back, move forward. That's one. Two, believe in yourself, respect yourself, love yourself, and most importantly, I think, is understanding what it means to be alone. How can you live life if you're trying to live life from somebody else's perspective? Live your life. Understand to be okay with yourself in your world. And once you are okay with you being alone in life, you have time to get to know who you are. I think this sounds a little crazy, but it also gives you time to get to know you, talk to yourself, figure out where you want to be. I mentioned that earlier today in our first, initial beginning of our conversation. Love yourself, respect yourself, understand who you are, and just keep moving forward. Don't give up, move forward. People are going to stop you from wherever you want to go. There's always going to be negativity. There's always going to be somebody who's going to try to, take you out the way. Doesn't matter. That means in that moment, it wasn't for you. Continue pushing. You're going to get something better.
Everybody, I couldn't have said it better myself. And all the things that you have said are just so impactful. And I know it's very easy to gloss over, right? Lou says it right here is what you just said. Keep pushing and always believe in yourself. And then you also said right here, never give up on yourself. But these things are kind of easier to just kind of gloss over, right? Because when you're going about it every single day and you have these challenges that may be piling up, you may be a student in school right now and the homework is piling up, or you got to study, and that's just as we know now, that's an easy example. But if there's somebody that's out there in the real world that's that's maybe struggling financially or with their mental health, keep pushing forward. And that can be as simple as showing up to whatever responsibility it is that you have to do, right? You may be in a job that you don't want to be at, or that you don't experience your total happiness, but just by showing up, that's you pushing through and showing up for yourself. And never undermine the significance and importance of an action that might be deemed big or small, right? Because we all know, just like brushing your teeth in the morning, or just going to your job and even having a job, right? All of these things, they're not small wins. They're all big, but we kind of undermine it because, it happens so frequently, right? Because we go to work 5 times a week, or we brush our teeth every single day. I mean, at least most of us do, right? But don't let the frequency of an event happening to you diminish the value and the significance and the fact that you being here right now is a miracle, right? Even the same thing as the sun rising every single day. It happens every day, but we kind of lose track as the beauty of it and to find why it's so important. And it doesn't always have to be on the things that are going out in our outside world or happening to other people. We need to instill and find the value that we have to offer to this world. And I know some people might think, oh, well, I don't have anything to offer in this world. That couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. And please stop buying into these false belief systems that might have been programmed to us by our family, to our friends, to society, to our communities. All that stuff is noise as well. So as right here, Mari says, yes, loving yourself first. Thank you so much. And Sonya, let's talk a little bit more, because we, like I said, only have a few minutes left. What are some things that we can be excited for that maybe you are going to be doing in the community, whether it's for yourself or as a representation of Citizens Bank? What can we look forward to?
We have a lot of events going on. We're here doing a lot of volunteerism with just different organizations in the community, with the mayor, with Rutgers, with HopeWorks, with Janet. With taking it takes the village. I think that her organization is amazing. I can't wait to see, and go and help and just see the little kids. Hopefully I see lots of babies coming in and lots of mothers for support. I think that, Citizens is definitely making a difference in the community, and we definitely see it. So just come visit us. I promise you, we're here with open arms. We're gonna, help you in any way. Even if it's just, just having a conversation. I think that most of the time, people don't realize that in a bank, sometimes we become therapists to our customers. Dealing with money and dealing with hardships, it can be very difficult. And we're just here to support the community in any way. So I'm really grateful and really happy to be here and just, showing the world that we, by one person, can make a difference, and unite all as one. Because even if one person, we can't just make the difference, but if we unite as a team, it's much bigger difference.
For sure. And, we don't be afraid to ask for help too, right? Because I know, like you just said, we may be at that point where we're not too sure, or we might not have, the strongest mental resilience at the moment, but surround yourself with people, communities, and organizations that are going to look out for your best interests and that are giving back to really, not to worry, but to help and improve the mental health, the physical health, and the spiritual health that we all have. And I know, thank you. I just want to say thank you so much, Sonya, for you and Citizens Bank for providing that for the citizens of Camden as well. And as you just mentioned earlier, you mentioned it takes a village housing, but I just want to share their flyer as well, because I just thought about it and it just came out today. On October 12th, Diapers and Smiles is going to be having their, I believe this is their second annual event at the North Camden Community Center. You got a lot of sponsors and a lot of organizations that are helping to help with this great content and great organizations and events that are going on as well. So if you are in the Camden area, please make sure to stop by and to support as well, and to possibly get some diapers or things that
bring donations to the branch or anybody in one of those sponsors that we can for that day that we can give back. So anybody that wants to give away, bring it to citizens or any of those organizations. I think it's great.
There you go. So Sonya, if somebody wants to reach out to you, or they want to find out more about opening an account, or maybe some financial literacy, or they just want to talk to you because they saw you here, where can they reach out to you at?
They can reach me at LinkedIn, Sonya Ramirez, and they can also visit our branch, which is 330 Cooper Street in Camden, New Jersey. We're there from Monday through Friday, and including Saturdays until 12 p.m. So Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4. And it's a very unique branch, by the way. So our branch is very unique. We don't have teller lines. Everything is digitalized. So if you come in, it's a beautiful branch, very unique. And you interact with an actual human being in the ATM, and it's called ITMs. So it's very unique. Definitely come and visit us when you have a chance.
For sure. And I gotta go. I don't think I've ever been just yet. So
please stop by.
Yeah, we gotta make that happen too. So stick around after the show is over, because I need to talk to you about making that happen so we can schedule it. But to my Positivity Posse, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you spending this hour with us. It really flew by, but you already know it's always like that. This is the quickest hour of the week. And especially too, football season starting tonight. I know the game is going on. So thank you for being here with us. And learning more about what it takes for us to really live the best versions of our lives, and to hear about the inspirational and motivational content and the lifestyle and life stories that Sonya has provided to us. And we appreciate you so much. Be safe this weekend. Next week, we have a very secret, well, not very secret, because I'm always open with you guys, but a very special guest coming on next week. So keep your eyes peeled on social media. So we're going to share with you updates as we go along, and everything that we have to share with you here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. So, Sonya, what do you have to say to everybody before we sign off?
Keep positive, keep fighting, never give up.
There it is. Short, sweet, to the point. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to my Positivity Posse, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Peace, everybody.